Hey guys, and thank you for coming to a late author chat.
So sorry. Man, yesterday we just broke down completely, and today my fault today though.
It's the weather is just going crazy lately,
Mm-hmm.
with the power outages. And now I see like pictures on Facebook from other authors and stuff that are up north and they've got snow
Oh my gosh. I
in
can't
May.
even.
And it's like snow. Like I'm going to go outside and build a snowman snow.
Yeah.
Like it is
Yeah.
taped on there. I'm like, holy crap.
It was supposed to get down to 38 degrees here last night, which is not,
You're
that's
in northern Florida, right?
well, now we're in Missouri.
Oh, you're in
So
Missouri. Okay.
yeah. So we were in southern Florida for years.
Right.
And we've been back up in Missouri for almost a year now. So and I mean, usually this time of year is beautiful here. And today's really pretty, but last night, cold. It was cold.
It was
So
cold here. It was like 90 today.
oh my gosh.
Yeah, and apparently
And you're in
raining.
because you were in Florida too, right?
Yeah.
I thought so.
I'm about 40 minutes west of Orlando.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Depending on how much traffic is on I-4.
Yep.
So we are talking with Heather Burch, the amazing author of the Halfling series, that she has gotten to add extra stories to, which I'll never say no to. So how far are we going with this? Is everybody going to get their own story, or?
Well, I do have I have a storyline for Vine, of course, and that'll be the next one.
Winter, right?
Yes, and then after that, I have a storyline for Winter, and I really love her storyline. Like it's one of my favorites of all of them. But we have a lot of.
It's so cold.
I know, and that really plays into her story. There's a lot historically that plays in, and there's a lot, about her skin being cold that comes into play in that book. So that's exciting. I can't wait to do that one. But really, when I first envisioned the Halflings, I had in my head that it would be a 10-book series. That's just always what was in my head. And so I wouldn't be surprised if it doesn't go to 10 books and maybe more even. I don't know. It's a lot like X-Men where it really can go on forever.
Right.
So there's always new halflings being introduced and, there's always new critical things. Actually, in Vine's book, there is something that he releases called Black Wind, I believe. And it's so weird because it's like it's designed to create a pandemic, So like I'm excited to work on that book again, but I'm also kind of like, I don't know, it's a little close to me. A little close to
right.
So,
right.
But I will. I mean, I am kind of excited about it.
So are they all going to be set up like the Angel Raven where, it's Raven's story, but you still get Nikki's point of view and everything?
Yeah. You'll get everyone's point of view because I really want to keep all of those characters moving forward in each storyline. So when we do pick up a storyline and they're sort of the central character, we still have that ensemble feel so that, you don't feel so disconnected. Like in Vine's story, there'll be some points of view from Jesse and Raven, and those tend to be more in the beginning or where they play into like a plot point in the story. But they're definitely always going to be an ensemble, feel like that. And I think people are really enjoying that from what I'm hearing so far, that they're really liking getting those. Multiple points of view. So that's
I love it because we were talking before that that's what I'm really scared about when I hear that a series is going from in this book we're going to get this person's point of view, because sometimes it's done well, sometimes it isn't, and it's really scary, and then you get disconjoined from the people that you've fallen in love with and stuff.
Yeah, it's tricky. That having so many points of view is really tricky. I think it really helped that we had 3 books that were really rooted in those characters. We really know those characters. And so I think that helped a little bit. But yeah, it's tricky to pull off.
You did it very well.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I hope so. I love it. I mean, I love that hopping around. One of my favorite scenes, and it was one of my favorite scenes to write, is where they're fighting the hellhounds when they, it's pretty early in the book. And wait, it's where they're all fighting and they've surrounded Nikki, and she's drawing, and we get like Glimmer's point of view and then Vine's right after it.
Right,
So what she's thinking, what he's thinking, we get Viper's point of view. Yeah, that was such a fun scene to write. And I usually, because I took karate, I usually block out my fight scenes. And so that's one of the ones that I had. Some of my author friends, like, always ask me about this if I do like anything with them, an interview or anything with them on their deals, about how I use stuffed animals to block out my fight scenes.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah. So
whatever works.
Yeah, exactly.
If it works, it works.
Yeah. It's hard to imagine if you understand fighting, it's hard to imagine, well, he's going to stand like this and he's going to flip her and she's going to go this way. And, she's going to come back like this. It's like, so, I just manipulate little stuffed animals to, so that
That's awesome.
When my younger son was still at home, when he was in school, I used to use him for the fight scenes. And when I was working on, I may have told you this story already. We kind of had an open door policy at our house. So all my son's friends, they come over anytime, and so his best friend, Nick, he would just walk in the house, and so, so I told Isaac, I said, listen, I'm working on this book and I've got one character that's hanging from a cliff and she's got ropes around her wrist, or she's got ropes around one wrist. And so in our house, we had this big, tall, I don't know what they're called. Like a beam, and so I threw a rope over it. And I said, what I want to do is I want to wrap this around your wrists, and then I'm going to pull a little bit, see if it feels like, it would be okay to have your full weight. Don't put your full weight on it because I don't want to end up in the ER, but just to see if it, and so I've got a rope over the thing. He's hanging there like this, with his arms in a rope. And then his friend Nick walks in the door and he looks at me and he looks up at the rope and he looks at Isaac and he just shakes his head and walks right back out. And I'm like, Isaac, go after him, go get him. And he was halfway down the road by the time Isaac got out there. He was like, nope. He just left. So anyway, yeah, it's better to use stuffed animals than your own children for things like that. But you have to get it right. It has to make sense, or it's not believable. So yeah. Anyway,
you can't really toss somebody off a cliff with a rope around their wrist.
Yeah, exactly.
That doesn't work out all that well.
Yeah, exactly. So
anyway, what made you choose titanium to make the wing cuffs?
I wanted a metal that was not common, like nickel or silver, and of course silver is werewolves, and so I don't know, I just thought I just want something that will be different and unique. And titanium they were just starting to use for wedding bands and stuff like that. And so I thought, well, that would be cool. The interesting thing is my oldest son, and I didn't know this at the time, he actually kind of has a reaction to titanium. He won't wear it. And I said, oh my gosh, you're really a halfling. so that was funny. But yeah, he doesn't like the way it feels on his skin. He says, it irritates me, Mom. So I don't know if it's the titanium or something else in it, but he doesn't like it.
Yeah, I do this. I can't wear yellow gold. I can wear white gold. I can't wear yellow gold.
Must be something maybe they mix into the gold or something.
I found out a couple of years ago that they actually brush it with nickel.
Oh.
And that it's the actual nickel that's in the gold.
Yeah.
Because that's what makes it hard. So I can't use anything with nickel in it.
Yeah.
Go
That makes
figure.
sense. Yeah. Yeah. That makes sense.
Oh, so this has been a whirlwind of reading for the past 2 days. I'm actually kind of somewhat happy that we ended up not doing this yesterday because it gave me a chance to read all 4 books.
Oh,
So I got through every last one of them and bawled
that's
my
so
eyes
cool.
out by the end of Angel
Oh,
Blood.
yeah. When I was going through and editing it, I was crying as I'm editing.
Mm-hmm.
Some books just get you
So
like that.
sad.
Angel Blood and Angel Raven are probably my 2 favorites
Mm-hmm.
of the series. Angel Blood, it just feels like I'm happy with everything, that happens along the way. Lots of little cliffhangers. I love what happens to Nikki, and then Angel Raven, I just love Raven. So, those are my 2 personal favorites, but that's, Vine has a cool story too, though. So it might become a favorite. Winter Story could definitely become like a personal favorite of mine if I pull it off the way I hope to. We'll see. So
why
but
did
I'm glad you got to read them.
Yeah, they're so good though, and they're fast because they're under 300 pages. I can read it in like 2 or 3 hours. They zoom really fast.
I'm impressed that you could read that fast. Like you say 2 or 3 hours for 300 pages. I'm like, that would be
Well, on
like
the Kindle,
7
it says
hours
that
for
they're like
me.
279 pages.
Yeah,
Or
they're
so
about right
they're
around
shorter.
300,
Yeah,
right under. Yeah.
yeah. So I
Yeah.
think Angel Raven, I ended up going through that one really, really fast. Or I think that I just accidentally paused my timer because I use Bookly, which is an app, and because it's saying that that I finished it in like an hour, and I'm like, I read
No way.
fast. I don't read quite
Yeah.
that fast.
Right. Yeah.
So yeah, when I post those today, just know that Bookly messed up somehow. It messed up badly.
It does read fast, though. I do think that Raven is the fastest read. And I think part of that is because we have a lot of points of view. We get to see a lot of people. And so it gives you plenty of time to pause as you're reading. So you don't have to kind of like stop and sit and process and move on. It's a fast read. Not that fast, but it is a fast
Not quite
read.
that fast. But I mean, all 4 of these books are very, I mean, they're not stagnant in any way, shape, or form. It is,
Thank you.
one event to the next. There's
That was
none of this,
really my goal.
there's none of this stuff where, they're just sitting there like mooning over each other, anything like that. It's like, okay, we go from point A to point B to point C, and just keep going.
Yeah.
It's really nice.
Good.
Especially
Good.
if you guys are looking for an action-packed story that isn't going to be stagnant or anything like that, this is definitely a series to pick up because it's like that, which is really nice.
Thank you. That was my goal. Originally, I actually was thinking of like people who maybe don't like to read and giving them something that they couldn't put down. That was my goal. Like, I want something that people who don't read that they literally cannot put down.
Get bored with.
Yeah. That was in my head. So I love to hear you say that.
Well, it worked. It worked phenomenal.
Yay.
All right. So are we ever going to end up finding out why Nikki's wings are red?
Yes, we will. We will. And it's probably in Vine's book. So we will. Yep. Yes, ma'am.
I was waiting for like when she finally got her wings and she showed everybody. I was waiting for like Will or somebody to like completely, break down like, oh no, this is evil, it's bad, it's not.
Oh, because they were red.
That her wings are this color, and it's just bad things.
Yeah.
And everybody was just all in all and said. So I was like, okay, heart attack over.
Okay. That would have been a good plot twist, though.
Right?
Yeah, it would have been.
Well, sure. Finding out who Jesse is and stuff, that was a definite plot twist because I was guessing that what she was, and you were pretty early on in Raven's story that halfling, and it's like because it's kind of like, okay, she's part of this in some way, shape, or form because she's 19, everything else happened about 20 years ago. It's kind of a given, not really a spoiler, it's kind of a given. So why did you choose of for this story to have an actual sibling, because her and Nikki are actually sisters.
Yeah.
And not everybody else has that connection there,
Right.
brothers and sisters
Yeah.
arms.
Right. Yeah,
Blood.
it was an unusual, and as the stories go on, we'll find out that there are some more out there that are, but it's not been, it's not been the norm. Of course,
Right.
them being birthed in a laboratory, has changed some things. So they are an anomaly, but they're not the only anomaly. So, and that actually comes into play in Winter's story. We start finding out about some more, and the groundwork is laid there. That had always been the plan from the beginning, that Jesse would, from the first, page of book 1, it always had been Jesse would be, on the scene and introduced at that later, point. And that, and I lay the groundwork with Dr. Richmond. We just love Dr. Richmond,
Right.
and of course that's Jesse's dad. And, so it was keeping all of those core characters and, drawing in their, like filling in their story. So, but that was always the plan. And then once we get into Winter's story, we'll find that there are some more, again, created in a lab, not created, but brought about in a lab, in one of Vessler's, labs.
Right.
And so we'll
guessing
get to see.
He'll be around.
Yeah, he is like,
arrested but not forgotten.
Yes. Well, and if you think about it, he has military contracts,
Right.
all over the world. So he's got a cache of, military grade weapons in his car. I mean, he's going to get, and he's in everybody's, pocket. Yeah. So he's got a lot of pull.
Of course. So then what about these war horses? I'm like waiting for these horses to sprout wings.
Yeah, and they do. Yeah, they do in Raven's book. Isn't it in Raven's book? See, you read so fast you missed some pages.
I still think that I'm thinking maybe the Kindle file might be messed up or something.
We'll have to pull it up and find out.
Right?
Because you remember where they
I was having problems when my because I'm on my iPad, which is like gigantic, and when it would turn perspective and turn back.
Do you think that it was jumping pages and it might have jumped
pages? I might have to go and reread this and print now that I found it.
Yes. Yeah. So do you remember when Glimmer jumps onto the horse trailer when they're trying to rescue the horses? And she jumps onto the horse trailer. And
I think it skipped that part.
Oh my gosh, that's my favorite part of the book. Oh my gosh, you got to read it. I'm
gonna have to reread this.
Yeah, or at least that part. If I had
one sitting right went here. Really fast.
Yeah, you probably did read it in an hour, and it's probably because
my Kindle
pages.
Bad iPad.
You know what's awesome about it is because Glimmer's that one that we kind of don't know if we like her or not. We kind of do, but she's kind of a mean girl.
I've been waiting for Raven to go back and save Deborah and her.
Oh my gosh!
And everything.
Oh, Jessica! Oh my gosh! I can't believe you have. That's like the best part of the whole book.
No,
I'm not kidding you. It's the best part of the whole book. You've got to read it. And it involves Dr. Richmond. It involves, oh gosh, I probably shouldn't even be saying, but I'm too excited to shut my mouth. It involves Nikki's mom and dad. They're on the scene there. It involves Raven wearing a cowboy hat of all things.
Yeah,
and all that. You have to.
I was wondering what was going on with it because we were talking before and stuff. Yeah. And I'm like, the file's messed up or something. I'm thinking it might have just been the Kindle decided when to change perspective.
Well, if your internet was down, maybe if it was in and out, I wonder if it might have like just skipped ahead or something. But oh my gosh, that's the best part.
Well, I know what I'm going to go back and reread this book.
That is the thing that makes me so badly want to see this as a movie because I want to see those horses, So yes, you've got to.
Edition.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. And that's all Raven. I mean, that's, and again, that was from the very beginning. We were always leading up to that, him saving those horses or being part of rescuing, the horses. So, yeah.
I was waiting for like Richmond to decide to go do it because those horses
Hmm.
they were his life.
Yep.
Yeah.
And so it is, and Richmond is involved. And then, like I said, a couple other people that for people who haven't read it, I shouldn't be saying, but Richmond's involved, and those two well, I've already said it, so I guess it doesn't matter. Nikki's mom and dad, because, we've always thought Nikki's mom and dad were dead,
Right.
and so that's
I remember
where,
the part where her saying that she was thinking that they weren't dead, that they were in
yeah,
cahoots with
yes, that they were working with Bessler.
yeah, and that this
And
was all just to, turn her dark so that they were
yeah,
probably still alive and she wanted to be
yeah.
able to confront them.
And that was actually, if you remember in Angel Blood, before she was planning to go kill Vessler,
Mhm.
and she saw the man that was
Right.
like, well, it was actually what we find out in, I believe, Vine's book. That was her dad, or it might even be in Raven's book, but that was her dad. He just had lost so much weight. They were trying to do the right thing in a really awful situation, and
Right.
Vessler was just always pulling their strings. We find out more about them in Vine's story, but yeah, they're not evil like she's thinking, but
Right.
she's still, I mean, she's pretty skittish about anybody, really.
Don't blame her.
Yeah, like she in Raven, she doesn't really want to get to know Jessica, because she didn't trust anybody.
Right.
Rightly so, but yeah, so she's growing a lot. She's becoming a better person.
So why did you decide to make her both a halfling and a Siri? I mean, is that something that is a norm within their world, or was that an oddity?
No, again, it's an oddity. Nikki's she has a lot of things that are a little extra, where she's got something a little extra. And she had to be a seer so that we had some kind of, connection with the supernatural from the beginning. And
Right.
so that became the vehicle to show her, operating in this supernatural realm without the giveaway that she's a halfling, that just hasn't fully tapped in yet. So that was, I wanted her to be able to do everything that the halflings do, but then have some things also that are a little bit extra special. Like we find out about Vine. Vine has his own things that are special about him, beyond the, living on candy.
Right.
So,
That we all wish we could do without getting, massive amounts of caffeine.
I know I am not a candy person, but while I was writing that book originally, the first time I, wrote Vine's book, like all I wanted was candy. Like I wanted Skittles, and I wanted and I'm just not a huge candy person. I would have, gummy worms sitting on my, I just thought about candy all the time. And I think about candy is such pretty colors. Think of the pretty colors candy is. So I'm a chocolate person. I just
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Chocolate.
yeah, but yeah, exactly. But you talk about candy too much, you start wanting candy. So
Right.
whatever.
It's like, so I'll make sure I have candy on hand
Have candy on hand
when I
for
start
Vine's
Vine's
book.
book.
For
Okay.
sure.
And when does Vine's book come out?
I don't know yet. I've got to go back through, and I have a couple other projects that are in the hopper in front of those, because writing in two genres, I have to split my time.
Right.
And so it's going to be a little bit, but so I kind of hate to even give a date, but I do feel like with the first 4 books, you get a really full story.
Mm-hmm.
A very much a beginning to end story, and now it can keep going on. But I never felt like it was fully finished until we got Raven's story. Raven's story had to be there. Like it had to come out to finish up that whole, storyline. But now we can just, keep going. So, and Vessler will probably be around for a good long while, but he's not as much of a threat on a personal level, because now Nikki knows, she's not going to be sucked in. Yeah. Yeah. Now it's just a matter of going through and destroying all of these totally evil things that he's built, in this universe that he's built. So it's fun. It's a fun world to play in.
So are you strictly only self-publishing, or are you still with a publisher as well?
I'm not under contract right now, but I have a couple things that are in line that I was planning on doing, just publishing on my own. And I do really, really like it. I'm really enjoying the process. But I've had some interest from a couple of publishers. So, there's a part of me that I like the idea of having my hands in both things.
Right.
And since they're so vastly different, I like these books are so much fun to write. I mean, they're just fun, it's a fun world to play in, where like my big women's fiction books, I love writing them, but there's always, but they're also, you put so much into them. They can be very draining,
Right.
It's kind of emotionally draining and all, but I just love doing them as well. So it depends on how much time I have. It's nice to be able to hand a project over and not be the one doing all of the
editing and everything.
Yeah. Every step of the way, and then the marketing, and then, everything.
Formatting.
So, yeah, all of it. So
catching stuff that shouldn't be there.
Yes, exactly. So it's a lot just getting, editing and everything lined up, So yeah, so I kind of do like having my hands in both. And I have a couple of things I'm working on that are probably well suited to a big publisher. And so why not, have somebody take it and run, know. If they agree, they may not agree. You never know. But
so do you think you'll do any more young adult titles?
Oh yeah. I've got another
Halfling series.
Yes, I have one called I go back and forth. I've got a couple of different titles for it. Defiant is one of the titles. Ooh. And The Monster Hunter is one of the titles. And I kind of bounce around on which, title. Originally, I had it titled The Monster Hunter, and it is about a young man who basically, monsters have entered our realm from the monster realm, and he hunts them. So that's his thing, and he's a rogue. He is
his name Defiant?
No,
he's Defiant, the monster.
He is, yeah. He's defiant because there is actually a council that patrols all of this.
Of course.
And he does it on his own. So he's a vigilante, basically. So, and I love that story. It is so much fun. I have everything in there, from trolls to fairies. Oh, wow. It is so much fun to write. There's vampires. There's every kind of creature that you can imagine. And it's so much fun. But I really would like to do it as a multi-book series. And so I have the first one written, but I haven't had time to write the other two. So, they're just sitting on a shelf waiting for me to come down, and I don't really want to release the first one without having the others ready, but those I'll do on my own. I'll put those out under my publishing company, because I want to control those. I want to control where they go. And I love the process. I like being my own little mini publisher. I'm really enjoying that. So,
when you query, like if you were going to release that to, like, trying to release it to a publisher, would it be easier to sell it if all of them are done?
Not necessarily. It just depends. I've written with publishers for quite a few years. So, like, for me, if I have a proposal, I can sell on a proposal, if it happens to be what they're looking for.
Right.
So maybe I'll do 3 chapters and an outline, and then an outline for each of the 2 additional books. My last contracts were always, here's the idea for this book. And then, and by the way, here's an idea for a second book, and so but but that's also to say if a publisher is looking for what you're writing right now,
Right.
and the market goes up and down and it changes. And
Right. Like vampires are
sometimes,
making a comeback.
yeah, yeah, exactly. So, so you never know if you have, it just goes in cycles, but, I like having a first book done if I'm doing a multi-book, in the same world, just because I change a lot as I'm going. And I don't want to set something up in following books that I'm maybe not going to ever, follow through with. So I
Right.
like to have one done. So like right now, this could, that one, if I was going to put it out to publishers, it could go out now. I've got the
Oh,
first book
wow.
done, and it's got, I've got a nice outline synopsis for the second book and the third book.
Hmm.
Um, but I really don't want to do that. I really want to do it on my own.
That's
So,
cool.
and I'm building an audience, a new, fresh audience
Hmm.
with, because the Halflings, the first three were out with a big publisher.
Right.
And then when I got my rights back, I was able to go in and do the things I wanted to do and change things up a little bit, hire my own cover designer, write my own back jacket copy, all of those things you have your hand in with a publisher, but you don't make necessarily the final decision on
Hmm.
them, so this has been really fun. So I really kind of want to keep it up, um, yeah,
That's cool.
I like it.
Well, I'm going to sit here and reread this one since apparently I missed half a book. Bad Kindle.
Oh
Bad,
my
bad,
gosh. And
bad
that's
iPad.
and it truly, like, it's the best part of the book. I mean, those scenes with the horses, best part of the book. So you'll have to
I
let me
didn't think
know
it
when
did
you get
that.
done with it.
It's being mean. Being
You-
so mean to me.
I'm so sorry, but at least you have it right there so you can
Right.
read
Yes.
it.
Yes. So
Yeah.
this can't skip on me.
No,
That
no,
can't
it
skip on me
can't.
at all.
Yeah. Yeah. You can even dog ear the pages and everything. I'm sorry I sent you one of the advanced reader copies. I didn't have any copies of the full manuscript. So that one has the bar across it that
Yeah.
was, not for resale. Yeah. But the good news on that is there are only like 5 of those ever in the world. So, if it ever becomes, the next Hunger Games or Twilight or whatever, I mean, that'll actually be worth a lot of money. But right
Like
now, it
auction it
just,
off.
yeah, you just auction it off and retire.
Well, my site actually just hit 2,000 or 2 million views.
Wow,
Yeah,
that's
I
amazing,
just happened to
Jessica.
go look at it because I haven't really been paying attention because I found a job. I work at a used bookstore, and
Yes.
and now I've been reading as much as I possibly can,
Yeah.
and I haven't really paid any attention to. I
Wow.
thought I would just go look at it, and I'm at like 2,400,000,
That is
and I'm like,
awesome.
holy crap! When did
That's
that happen?
huge.
Right?
Wow.
Like,
That's
when did that
awesome.
happen? Thank
Congratulations.
you. Well,
That is
I
fantastic.
cannot wait for Vine's story, and of course, definitely Winter's story. I need them. Need them now. And just keep them coming.
Okay.
And
I will.
definitely will have to grab a finished copy of this one. So, as this to the finished copy,
Mhm.
did anything change,
No,
or no? It's
no,
all the same.
no. It just was my author copy,
Hmm.
that they sent ahead, and I had
Right.
ordered copies, but with COVID and everything,
Right.
everything got
Everything's
slowed down,
taking
so they just weren't here yet.
forever. Right.
Yeah. In fact, I think I got 4, and then I ordered some days and days ago, and I haven't gotten them yet.
Right.
So, and so now those 4 are gone. I think I may have one around here somewhere. I'm looking around, but I'm not seeing it, but I may have one around here somewhere, but yeah.
Well, thank you so much for coming on the show. Sorry, guys, that we were late.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Totally my fault. And I feel so bad. But
Well, I was just thinking that like your electricity went out or something because I know it'd been going out here, and I thought you were still in Florida, so I was like, oh,
you're like, she's
probably has
dealing
no
with the same
power.
thing I was. Yeah.
Probably has
Well,
no
and
power.
I do have, because I always feel like if if I've done something like messed something up. So I do have, if you go to my website, or you can actually go on Amazon, I have it's a short story that it's not connected to halflings. It's actually not, YA at all, but it's free. So if people want to just download something free, but this is what's fun about it. It's called, what's it called? Kiss Me Maybe. That's what it's called. And it takes place on I might have told you, we might have talked about this last time. It takes place on a princess cruise. So I was hired by Princess Cruise Lines to write a story, me and two other authors. So that's free. But if you can load it free on your Kindle, but if you, on the page where it's at, if you scroll down a little bit, there's a spot that says something like play video or something. It has a really pretty like Caribbean, thing. And if you play that, it's an Audible book, but it actually has pictures from the Caribbean in the background. So it's kind of like a little virtual vacation, because nobody's going on a cruise right now.
Yeah, no.
So you can take a little virtual cruise and listen to the book. So it's called Kiss Me Maybe. Kiss Me Maybe by Heather Burch. So that is free there. And then also book 1 is 99 cents and it's free on Kindle Unlimited. So anyone who has Kindle Unlimited, you can always load it. The whole series is free, obviously on Kindle Unlimited. But for those who don't have Kindle Unlimited, book 1 is 99 cents and will be for a little while, but not forever. So hop on and grab that and give it a taste and see what you think.
All right. Well, thank you so much for coming on. I will message you when I'm done with this, with all of the pages instead of just part of them.
Oh, yeah, I hate that.
With that book. I was I was just thinking like the file was messed up or something was wrong. And it's just Kindle just not being very nice to me.
Well, I'm glad that you're going to get the full experience. So, yeah, for
Goodness
sure.
Gracious. The one part I wanted to happen, I skipped it.
You knew it. You knew in your heart. You knew that was supposed to happen.
Right.
So good instincts on that. But I always love coming on your show. Thank you so much for having me. I just think you're precious and I adore you and all that you do for authors because it's a big deal. It really is. I know it's hundreds and hundreds of hours of work that you put in and, every author you have on, we all appreciate it so much. But we might not always remember to tell you how much we appreciate, your sacrifice of time and everything. So
I love being able to read all these amazing titles and stuff. So
yeah. Well, but you share it. And that's what's really, that means so much to authors when people will share, because otherwise people don't find out about it. There's so many books out there. So word of mouth is and will probably always be the number one way that people find out about new books. So thank you very much.
You're welcome.
It's so great to see you and talk with you.
You too. Okay, guys, thank you for watching this week's author chat or today's author chat. We will be back on Monday with new people. You can always check out the site or our YouTube channel, of course, to see the newest lineup. And I will catch you later.